Okay, so I finally added the second story and the roof. The house has a roof now. Yay! And let's see, and windows, and all the stuff that goes with having a full second story. It also has this little, I'm gonna call it a patio. I don't really remember what that's called when you put it up above. Patios are usually on the ground floor, but there's like an overlook thing up by this door. It was either that space was either going to be part of the inside of the house or it was going to be an outside sitting space, and I hadn't decided yet when I hadn't built the second story, and then I finally made up my mind. So that's about the only thing besides the whole second story and the roof of the front of the house right here that is noticeably different. Otherwise, the rest of this is all pretty much the same. Off to the left here, there is a tall tree, a very nice, tall, mature tree on the side of the house, and then some, you can see, we'll go back by that, but some playground, swing set, whatever equipment. Otherwise, the side's not done. I have not decided what I want to do with this giant open space over here. I want to do something. I just don't know what yet. At one point, I thought maybe the pool would go here, and then I was like, I really, really, really don't want the pool in the front yard. A, it's awkward to get to, and B, it's just like, who wants to be in their front yard in the pool? You want the privacy of the backyard, so I didn't put it here. So now I don't know what to do with this space, but I'll figure it out maybe at some point. So we'll go over this way. Yes. So we've got some nice other mature trees over on this side, kind of giving shade and some privacy. So from the street, there's a whole bunch of these tree canopies that would block the view of this really lovely master bathroom. Um, from the sidewalk, people can probably see in. So my imagining is that the glass here has that tint where you can push a button and it automatically sort of um, changes the glass, the properties of the glass, so that you can see out but not in. So that way the people inside could still enjoy their view, but if they want to take a shower or a bath, people just walking by can't see them, and they don't have to pull down blinds and stuff because I built this to be a really relaxing master bathroom, and I wanted them to still have their view, if they want it. So yeah. Anyway, that was the design concept. I can't do that in the game. Add that tinting glass, so it's you'll have to imagine it's there. This is what you see of the master bedroom from the ground floor if you're just walking around. This is the son's bedroom. Again, we'll be up here and see into these spaces. That's his closet window. But I figured I'd show what the outside of the house looks like. Nice little cherry tree. You can see that I did not finish the corner stair portion. It was really tedious. And I will get to it, but I ran out of tedious energy. And so while a bunch of the rest of this was also tedious, it was a tedious that was new, versus I've done one of these corner stairs on the other side already, and I just really didn't want to do it again. So I'll come back to it, but it's not done yet. Don't hate me. Um, yeah. So I've got some towels here, talking about tedious. I fully designed this. I put down, pillows and towels and all the accessories. But I didn't. I couldn't do the stairs. I just couldn't make myself do it. We do have some like deck slash uh, patio furniture here overlooking the pool. So this is the pool. From upstairs, this really does look a lot like water, especially because if you see, I made the bar part where it is the drop off to the next lower level. I made that like a lighter blue where the white is underwater or would be, and then it's a white up above, so you kind of get this illusion of the water is making it blue. Um, Same with the ladder rungs and whatever. The game developers have said that they will be adding pools to the game at some point. I'm looking forward to it. In the meantime, the only option is an above ground pool that you can flip over to kind of cheat if you're in sandbox mode like I am. But it's shallow. Like the amount of water it gives you is maybe knee height. It's really not that much. So I couldn't use it for my pool here because you would just see the whole base of this above ground pool sitting in the pool. And that would look really weird. So I couldn't use the cheat here, but um, you'll have to imagine. I tried to use a covering. I don't know what this is called. It's not really a tile. Maybe it's a tile. I think this is technically a marble, but I colored it and I picked a marble that kind of imitates water so that we could go with. It's water in the pool. And like I said, from up above, it looks a lot better. Got some plants. We've got a grill now. Yay! Long grill. They can make lots of food for parties and things. There is a diving board. I had to get really creative with that. I'm very, very proud of it. Like these ladders, or like the ladders that are supposed to come out of the pool, the steps. Um, all of these are supposed to just be sort of the fold up ladder, step ladder. I shoved them places they don't belong so that I could do the things that I wanted to do. So I'm really actually pretty proud of this. To me, looks like a diving board proper, and it's got like a little step up onto it. And then we've got the slide into the pool. I want to show off this pool a little bit. I think I can fly here. Hold on. Yeah, I can. Okay, good. I started to make another video and I trapped myself in the bottom of the pool. It's like, oh no, without water you can't get to the ladders that are up at the top. So I was just stuck. But it's got this, gradual, not incline, decline into the pool. So then this is the 6 foot height pool portion. So this would be, any normal tall person could, swim around here pretty nicely. But then, down here is, I think this was 13 feet deep is what I ended up doing. I looked up, and I don't remember what I found when I looked it up, but I looked up what the pool depth has to be if you have a diving board, and I think it was like 11 feet, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was 12, but I went with 13. I gave it some extra. That's all I know is I gave it some extra because I was like, why not? So I made it a little bit deeper than it was required to be so that you could go down into the super depths and like actually just have fun diving around and exploring. So this is the 13-foot section of the pool. And then yeah, got that. I tried to make these little colorful bump outs for the transition of the different heights. So like anytime there's a dropout, there's this little rounded lip so that like, oh, drop off's coming. And then there's on these ones, on the big drop off, there's also so that if you're swimming along the side of the wall with your eyes closed or something, you're gonna realize before you end up in that super deep end that you're about to be in the super deep end because there's this little bump out on the side, just sort of a safety thing I built into the pool because I'm a nerd. So we've got the back of the house. Let me show it off properly. There's another patio. I don't remember what those are called. I'm going to keep calling them patios. There's a word for it when balcony! That's the word for it. It's a balcony. There's a balcony up here for looking out over the pool and just kind of chilling up in the second story. Man, I'm so glad I finally remembered that word. That was driving me crazy. And then I've got this just kind of relaxing hammock over here. The trampolines in this game actually work. It's really cool. So I had to place it and then jump a few times to make sure you weren't going to run into the tree at all, because that would hurt a lot if tree branches were snagging you. Also, you could just trim the tree, but in this case I could not. So I was like, I better rotate it around and make sure that as you jump, you're not hitting tree branches. So it's safe, I promise. Then we've got this little seesaw and the swing set, the sandbox, and then the tree. And over here, I, again, don't know what to do with it yet. Here is the corner step. I told you I finished one of them. It's right here. It's done. It's lovely. The other one will look like this at some point. It's just not ready yet. The back of the house. Okay, so this wall kind of drives me a little bit crazy. So does the side wall over here. And I might put windows on that one. We'll see. But this one, I wanted a window. I don't like giant walls with no windows on them. Kind of irksome. But this is the stairs. If you're remembering how this is laid out, you can kind of see them through the door there. There's the staircase going up. And on this wall is a piece of art. And I really like it. I didn't want to take it down to put a window there instead, so I ended up leaving it without windows. I could maybe add some by the stairs. We'll see. I might change this part if I can find a way to add windows nicely without it looking crowded, busy, all those things that we don't like. Um, but otherwise it's just a blank wall, and so is this one. This is the side of the house by the stairs, and again, like, I could maybe put some windows here. I don't know. Currently there aren't any. From inside it looks normal that there aren't windows because there's enough going on over on the sides of the house and up the stairs and whatever, but from the outside it's windowless and I hate it. We'll see. We'll see what I do with that. But for now, no windows. Okay. So yeah, so that is a closer view of the balcony. And then this is the one that, like I said, it has a door. The door is locked in my imagination. It's locked. I guess technically you can do that in the game now too, so it's locked. But there's no way to get to that door. There's no walkway that goes over to it. It's just a false door with a false balcony and some plants, like I mentioned before. So these are either really hardy plants that would survive on their own, which orchids are not known to be, or they're fake, maybe. I don't know. One of the two, probably. Let's see. I kind of did something in the garage, so we'll go in there. We'll start in the garage. Oh, I'm gonna need my screen back for a second. So I can click buttons. Is that inside? Yeah. Okay, so we have the trash and the recycling like before, and still no cars, but beds in place of the cars because this is not fully designed yet. It's not finished. But I did start doing some things. So we've got the roof of the house. It's got some funky lines to it. I kind of like it. I think it's fun, but they're also a little weird. I might make this flat, but I kind of am having fun with the non-traditional roof lines, so we'll see. We'll see how I end up handling that long term. Um, but yes, there's lights in here now all the way around. You can see how bright it is when they're all on. I guess we don't need them on during the day. I'm still flying, aren't I? Okay. Is this the middle of my screen? Yeah, good job. Okay. Talking to myself. There is a smoke detector here in the garage. Very important. Has one, just like I thought. Two fire extinguishers, very important for a garage. So those are here too. Otherwise, this is mostly unchanged. It was just the lights. I got really excited about adding lights. There's one in the ceiling here too. I think you probably got to see it before, but yeah. So I added lights. I'll come back at night and show off my lights. I also added lights down the hallway. I know in the last video I was like, oh no, I forgot to put lights, and it was actually really freaking me out to be walking around in this house in the dark. I have a fear of the dark, and walking around in here at night without hallway lights down this dark hallway was making me scared, and I was like, I really need to add some lights. So that was the first thing I did when I came back after that video was I added lights to this stretch of the hallway, but that's the only difference. Oh, kind of the only difference down here. There's a little surprise difference that I kind of went overboard. So each of these cherries I had to place individually. They're all individual items, including on top of, or no wait, the cupcake ones I think exist that way. Yes, they do. The cupcake ones are pre-existing, and then the ones on the cake are not. But I didn't like the little white swirls without anything on them, so I added a little cherry to each one of those swirls individually, and then I stuck a cupcake in the middle to match the cupcakes on the side. So this is for the daughter's birthday. It's like coming up, is my imagining. So they've got a cake in the fridge for her. Someday there'll be other things in the fridge. I'll fill that out with like actual furnishings. There's still no pictures or anything. I didn't do more decorating down here. I found a cake when I was looking for something else, and I was like, oh, okay, I need this. before I forget. And I came downstairs and I did a whole birthday thing. So, um, yes, but that's all that's changed. Downstairs. Okay. Upstairs, we had the art. Like I said, I could maybe put a window here and a window here and even a window here and then on this side. Um, I'm just, they might look awkward. So we'll see. We'll see what I end up doing. But for now, there's no plans to add the windows there. Then this is finally done. We have a finished upstairs. So we've got this little landing area, this bonus room as they like to call it. This is more of, it's so open that I can hardly call it a bonus room in my estimations, but I think that it would still be classified as one. The top light switch here goes to the lights back this way. The silver one goes outside, and then the rose gold one is for the lights in this bonus room area. And the same thing, silver outside, and then rose gold goes to the lights in this bonus room area for both of the doors. Silver and rose gold mean different things over by the guest bedroom, and I'll get to that in a minute, because I am all about those light switches. So this is the so as you're upstairs looking down at the pool, this is kind of what this looks like. Again, it does a good job of mimicking water from afar. And then we have a recreation of the plants that are over in that inaccessible area over here. I just really liked them. I loved how they looked. So I needed something to fill out this spot, and you don't really want to have a chair behind a door because that's awkward. So I put the benches over on this side, and then I just put some greenery over on that side. Thought that was nice. There's lights up here along the top. I'll show that off at night, but that's just kind of the little balcony on that side. And then this balcony has more seating, same sort of bench setup, and then a little nice rounded table on this one. Same lighting going around. You see a sneak peek into that bedroom. And then you get like a nice view of the tulips and the rest of the yard from this spot. So someday that yard will look like something, and that'll be an even nicer view. There's a thermostat here and over there, in case you're really lazy, and a smoke detector. But each of the different sections of the house is climate controlled. So I know that this is open, so it'd be harder to distinguish between the two floors. These ones are all attached. But then, when you're upstairs, you don't have to go downstairs to change the temperature if you're like, gosh, it's getting warm as the day heats up or whatever. So, yeah, so just a little sitting area. I'm going to put more stuff on this desk. I ran out of steam on decorating it. So this is just the everyone desk, I guess. Mostly it exists for the youngest daughter because she does not get a computer in her room. She's too young for that. So she has this one that she gets to use instead. But later on when she's older, she can have one. So I promised to talk about the light switches that you probably don't care about. But the top one goes to these lights down the hall, and then the bottom one goes to that light there. So that as you go into this bedroom, if you are trying to go to sleep and there's still lights on, or if you need to get up in the middle of the night to use the restroom, you can turn on and off whatever lights you deem necessary to get you there or to get to bed. So this, you can see from the window, is my yellow bedroom. Yellow is not really considered a restful color. This is a very energizing color, which is fine for a guest bedroom, in my opinion, because it's a guest bedroom. So the kids aren't sleeping here. Most people aren't sleeping here. You're probably having a sleepover of some kind because this is a single bed. So, it's probably a kid in here and they'll be fine. They can sleep through anything, including yellow. But I kind of wanted a fun little, I've never done yellow in a design. It's not my favorite color, especially because it's considered very energizing. And to me it is. It's a loud color. It's busy. Even when it's just flat yellow, it's a loud, busy color to me. So I don't put it on a lot of things. And so I was like, well, guest bedroom. And I didn't like this guest bedroom because it's the only bedroom in the house that doesn't have a full closet. All the others have really nice walk-in closets. And this one, I was determined to have 5 bedrooms upstairs. I wanted a master bedroom, the 2 kids' rooms, and then 2 guest bedrooms. And I originally was like, oh, I'll just put the guest bedrooms down in the basement. That would work nicely. But it's not a walkout basement because I did the pool first. So I forgot to, account for, hey, I might want, to be able to access the outside. I prefer walkout basements, but I didn't design that into the build. And so once I got the pool done, I did not want to have to redo it. And I was like, basement's off limits for bedrooms. There's not going to be any windows down there. Safety hazard. So I had to fit both of my spare bedrooms or the guest bedrooms, whatever you want them to be, up here on this level. So we've got a smaller one with a single bed, and it does not get a closet because there just wasn't room for that. But it does at least, it's got a wardrobe. It's fine. But since I didn't like it very much because it's so small, I ended up making it yellow because I was like, well, let's brighten it up a little bit, give it a vibe, give it some energy. So it has that. It's got posters, it's got the guitar. I figured probably the older brother had some influence on how this got designed as his friends started, using the guest bedroom, and then the little sister is fine with whatever her brother likes. So, you know, he got the say on that. Okay, so this is the little sister's bedroom. It's got these twinkle lights around the top of the 3 walls, and then this one's windows, so we didn't put any there, in the blinds. But there's a light switch over here next to the bed that belongs to these twinkle lights. So as you go to sleep, if the lights are too bright, because they're a little bright, then you have the ability to turn them off from your bed without issue. They could also have been on remote, but they're not. They've got a light switch. So that's how those work. There's, like I said, each room is climate controlled. So there's a thermostat in here. She's into cats. So there's this little kitty over her door and the kitty shelf. And then there's another kitty up here with the butterfly. And also, I did kind of a fun thing that I'm really proud of. I put fabric on the walls. So because she's a kid and kind of like she adores her brother and tries to copy him, but she's still a girly girl, and so she can like put pictures and things on this wall just with a push pin because it's fabric, and so it's not gonna leave visible holes when she goes to remove them. And this wall is also fabric, so it can be done the same way. She can put push pins in those walls. Like close, so she actually has access over here. And you'll see there's a Polaroid camera over on her shelf. I'll talk about the shelf in a minute because I love my shelf. But there's a Polaroid camera over there. There is a Polaroid item in the game that you can put a custom picture in. I really want to find a picture that I feel like represents the older brother and the younger sister and kind of like have that on her desk where she's like, oh, me and my brother. So, just like sitting out on her desk, or maybe a few different photos stuck on the wall here, like I said, because you could push pin them in, or even use Velcro of some kind. Like anything would attach to this wall because it's fabric, which is nice. So, well, I guess tape not as much, but there's lots of options. Also, while I'm here, so we've got she's kind of like artsy. So we've got this paint stuff on the side here, including a little jar to my crouch not work. There it goes. A jar to put the paintbrushes in and swirl them around. There's the paintbrushes. Swish them around in the water, and then she's got some like craft boxes where there's more supplies, and then the glue stick and the other glue and the sponge to press the glue onto things. Oh, I'm in fly mode. Okay. And then she's got like a stack of papers to draw with, a little pencil box for her art supplies. Right now, all her pencils are out on her desk because while she's organized, you can see they're lined up nicely except for the 3 that she was in the middle of using or about to use or whatever it is to make a card. And she left them kind of, oh, I'm working with these. So she's organized, but also easily distracted, I'll say, because like you can see there's a book out here with the pillow. So she kind of leaves things where she was using them, but she's still tidy enough to like when she picks them up, she puts them away properly. You can see on her shelf like the books are lined up properly. There's spots, I don't know if you can see, but yeah, you can. There's gaps here for the books. So there's one here, obviously, that would go on this shelf. But there's also one over in the brother's bedroom, and it's on his bookshelf. I'll show it off when I get over there. But it's on his bookshelf because she probably goes in there and goes, read me a bedtime story, right? And if she leaves the book behind because she's, distracted or whatever, then he's going to put it on his bookshelf. So just to get it out of the way. So it's currently over on his bookshelf, but there's a spot for it on hers, which was all I really wanted to say about the bookshelf, honestly, because I was like, I'm going to leave spots for these, and I was kind of proud of myself. Anyway, yeah, those little figurines, the bunny, the panda, and the cat, are technically little night lamp things, but I don't think I'd ever light them up. They're just meant to be little figurines that she likes and thought were cute. Yeah, so her phone's over on the nightstand, so while she does not get a computer on her desk, she does get a cell phone to carry around with her so that she can be reached when she's away. No computer is more of a privacy thing, or not a privacy, a security thing for the children because, the older brother is old enough to handle himself on the internet, but she's still young, so who knows? She was an oops kid, so, she's much younger. So this is the closet. I have a washer and dryer in here. Let me explain. As I was determined to make those 5 bedrooms on the upstairs level, I completely forgot that I would want a laundry room. And so I got to this point where all the bedrooms were designed. They were even mostly decorated. I think 2 of them weren't. And then I realized I don't have a laundry room. And I was like, you know what, though? You know what? I have these huge walk-in closets. So each of the actual bedrooms, the daughter's bedroom, the older brother's bedroom, and the parents' bedroom, they each have a washer dryer of their own in their bedroom. And then in the guest bedrooms, there is nothing. But you're not staying very long at someone's house usually, so I figured that was fine. And also, if you are staying for a very long time, then, you could just borrow, like, the daughter's laundry setup or the son's or whatever. Like, someone can do your laundry for you, or you can borrow theirs for the day to, quick wash your clothes. But if it was going to be a long-term stay, there are solutions, but those 2 rooms I figured didn't need their own washer dryer. And then this one, the brother's room and the parents' bedroom, they each get their own. They get to learn to do their laundry. Oh, ignore the fact that there is a little... I was going around doing all the baseboard edging, all this stuff, and you can't put it near windows. It won't let you. So that's technically a bump out for the window right here, and it won't let me put the edging there. So I'm going to force it in there later, just like over by that window. You can see there's some next to the door, and then it doesn't extend all the way to the window. I'll be fixing that forcefully. I just didn't get to that yet. So there's a few of these where there's just kind of a piece hanging out because I've got to manually move it, and I kind of forgot before the video. But yeah, so this is the walk-in closet. Very nice, very nice. Ceiling light. Just got more cats as a just sort of a decorative wallpaper on this side and this side. Otherwise, it's that gray. The gray walls are paint. Those aren't fabric. It's just the blue wall and the pink wall that ended up being fabric. She also has a step stool in here because, again, she's a kid and she's short, and these are tall cabinets. And I kind of figure even with the step stool, that's probably still too tall for her. So because she's a little bit rambunctious, she probably climbs on top of these, like, the wardrobe pieces to get at stuff that's in, like, the top, or, maybe she even puts it up next to the washer dryer, climbs on top of that. This is something I would have done because I grew up as a very runty kid. Climbs on top of the washer dryer and then on top of this and kind of hangs over the edge to get the things she wants. So, yes, it's a runt life solution, as I was. So then there's lights here for the bedroom and the bathroom. So like if you're in the bathroom, say you were showering or whatever, and you come out and you're like, oh, it got dark. you can turn on your bedroom lights from this side. You don't have to walk all the way over there. And then there's obviously the silver switch goes to the bathroom because this is all gray in here. So the silver switch belongs to these lights. So you can turn them on and off as you go in. There's a single window in here because otherwise I pretty much used all this space. And I could have put one on this wall, but having a window inside your shower would be weird, so I super didn't. There is, each of the bathrooms is climate controlled as well. So I figured they probably also have heated tile floors because those are sometimes nice. Maybe even they can do cooling tile floors because when you're sick, you don't want your tile floor to be heated. You want it to cool you off. You want to feel better. So, maybe it can do both. But either way, they're for sure climate controlled. This is a Jack and Jill bath. For anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's where the bath connects two bedrooms and doesn't have an entrance from the outside. So it's just a bath between two bedrooms, kind of tucked away in the corner. So it only is used by the daughter and then the son on that side. So these are their towels, the lighter blue for her, obviously, and then the darker blue is his color, so it's everywhere. His toothbrush, though, is black in this case, just because they don't usually come in a lot of different colors. So a light blue I've seen, and black I've definitely seen, but I've not seen this shade of blue in a toothbrush very often, so I figured I'd go with black for that one. Down below here, I'm not going to open it because there's a step stool in the way, and so the doors won't open, and I don't want to move it back. But there is a wastebasket, and then a plunger, and the toilet scrub brush, just like there was down on the main floor in the, what's that called, guest bath. Or the half bath down there. So those exist. Just know they're there because that was important to me. And there's a step stool in here so that she can reach the shower accessories. One of them's taller than the other. I did this in the master bath as well, because, for instance, my husband and I, we are very different heights, and a shower that would be comfortable for him would be very much taller than for me. So I went with like one's shorter and one's taller, and that way whoever is using it can have a more comfortably heighted shower in this bath. And then, let's see, again, she's a short kid and will stay that way even as she gets older. So I was thinking ahead and gave her a short shower because her mom is short and has a short shower and needed one. So so there's the switches for his, I think this is the closet. Oh, was that on already? Which light is that? That must be in there. Yeah, okay, so I was hitting maybe the silver one there. I don't have, let me make this easier. That's for that, okay. Does this go? Oh, that's also for that? Uh-oh, I think that's mapped wrong. This is supposed to be for the closet, I'm pretty sure. That one's for the closet. Now I'm confused. Why do I have two switches here? Hold on, I need to know. Do they do anything different? They don't. I don't know what I was thinking there. There was definitely a thought, and it has escaped. I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be for this, and this switch is not. Yeah. Okay. I'll have to fix the switches later. This switch. Oops. This switch is supposed to be for the bathroom. This switch is supposed to be for the closet. This switch is supposed to be for the lights over here, so that as you leave to go into the rest of the space, you can turn on the lights. All right, well, let me turn off the closet lights for now. We don't need them on when it's daytime. So this is the brother's closet. There's the cherry tree. Let me show you the really impressive view. You come in through this door. As you head towards the bedroom, doesn't that just look amazing? Just seeing a cherry tree in full bloom out the window. I thought that was gorgeous. So brother gets the best view. Got a clock right here. So you walk through the door, you see the arch into this closet, so he better keep it tidy. But he's got some games up here. I can't hang a bunch of things in these closets. There aren't tons of things in the game in terms of clothing. So, and not many of them can be hung. So and I don't think any of them go on hangers. So for now, just imagine that there are tons of clothes in here. But I did put in these 4 games and then also a chessboard over on the side because he's a good brother. He's a good older brother who plays games with his sister and the rest of his family. They're a good family. They do things together. So that's the closet. I'm sure you noticed, but that's his washer dryer in there. And I pointed out the clock. I'm noticing she didn't have one, but she did have the alarm clock, so that's probably good enough. There's a light in here for the hallway area, and then his gaming setup, so his laptop or his monitors, and then this is like an actual gaming, like an Xbox or a PlayStation, one of those. So his controller is on top of it, and then his headset has a hook for resting on, and then the TV is up here. Down below is where the little um, desktop is for the monitors and the keyboard and the mouse. You can't see them super well. You'll probably be able to see them better in the nighttime walkthrough when the lights are on, but this is blue and this is blue, and these you can see a little bit of the blue shine on the bottoms. The tops are black. The bottom base part is blue on those. He has lots of blue. it, it easily became his favorite color and overtook his room. He's got some action figures and then some figurines, a baseball. You can't see that super well. Oh, I forgot to hide this. Sorry. Baseball here, and then games for his whatever it is, the gaming system. And then the books. And here is Yellow, A Life in the Forest, is the book that belongs in the daughter's bedroom. So it's just kind of chilling on his bookshelf because there was space and she left it behind. But he's got like a handheld thing and then a camera and another camera just for fun. And then they didn't have like a video camera. This was the best I could do. So it's, whatever. Then he's into baseball. This one would have been like a signed baseball. That's why it's on the shelf. This is the one that he actually would take outside to play with. So it's up in his room along with some weights down below. And he's got a remote for his TV and the little earbuds and his phone. And you can see I mentioned when I was doing the downstairs walkthrough, I was over in the, I kind of forgot to point it out, in the daughter's bedroom. But there's like a light blue heart pillow down there, and then a geometric darker blue and gray and white pillow down in the living room. And I said those belong in the bedrooms. I left spots for them. So there's supposed to be 2 of each color in the daughter's bedroom. There were only 2 pink and 1 blue, and the blue was on the bed being used for reading, because blue is her favorite color. And then the third pillow here would have been that geometric one that's down in the living room. So attention to detail. But yeah, so I've got this room all done. I really like how this blue looks in here. I was pretty happy with that. But he's also just got sort of a more mature feel to his bedroom than the other little girl room. This is the guest bath on the 2nd story, so a full guest bath. It's got fishes on this side and a cat on that side peering at them. I thought that was really cute. So opposing walls for those, 'cause the cat really wants those fish. Otherwise, just kind of like bubbles on the walls. A nice neutral, relaxing color for the wallpaper wallpaper and the paint. And then the rest of it's tiled in for the shower. Got some towels here. This, to remind you, is what is underneath the bathroom sinks, although I forgot to put any in the master bath, so I'll be fixing that later. This one's the same setup as the one downstairs, but just toilet paper down there for if you're on the toilet, I'm realizing that door opens in a way that's not convenient for the toilet. I'm not sure if there's a setting for which way the door opens, and if there is, I'll swap it so that it opens the other way. But if you're on the toilet and there's no toilet paper left, you have access. Otherwise, you gotta be tall enough to reach it, I guess. But the teal towels are the long ones for the actual shower, and then the white towels are the hand towels. So we've got spares in there and some Kleenex. And then let's see. Oh, let me get this door closed. I forgot to mention this thing. I just kind of walked right by it. So this cabinet, what I imagine it's used for, first of all, board games. More board games would be, kind of stored in here for play out in this area with family. But also just like supplies for the office desk, whatever. And then I don't know, things that would belong in this room, and maybe some spare light bulbs or, stuff like that. This one is a different color completely. Actually, the inverse of that one. This one is for spare bedroom linens. So for the guest bedrooms, for the daughter-son bedroom, not for the master bedroom because they've got their own version of this in the master, but this is where the bed linens would be kept for, and towels. All of the linens would go in this storage. And then let's see, because there wasn't really like a hall closet or anything for that. I have another smoke detector, another thermostat. Every room has that sort of setup, except for the bathrooms don't have the smoke detector. If you're somehow lighting a bathroom on fire, we've got bigger issues there. But the clock on the wall matches sort of the color of the green, and then I've got the rose gold throughout. So I've got the rose gold birds flying around the clock. Really liked how that sort of, I don't know, added to, they're very geometric birds. They've got sharp edges, but in circling them around the clock, it kind of gave them this fluidity I liked. So this whole room is sort of a nature theme. You can see it's got like the flower overhead light, and then the flower bedside lights, and these match those giant ones that are down on the main floor in the entryway that I had as both art, like functional art where they light up, but they're on pedestals. They're meant to be an art piece as well, art installation. So these are just more decorations. I made one of them too tall and like two candles tall, kind of. I was proud of myself for that. Another thing that was sort of a force it to do the thing that I want it to do because it doesn't exist. And then just some other. These came in green, and I was like, how perfect, because I need sort of a flower, nature themed thing that's green that would match. So I picked them. Only the one window in this bedroom, in terms of like bedroom. There's more in the closet, but because otherwise there's a wall there, so you get some view, but not a whole bunch of view, because it's a guest bedroom. And also the view from here is not great. You can't see like the tulips or anything, so that's part of why there's candles there, to be like, look, you have sunlight and nature, but also don't look too closely because there's not a lot to see out that window. And then same thing here, like you definitely can't see anything out these windows really, so they're just there to let in sunlight and make the closet not so claustrophobic. You can almost, maybe if you stand on tiptoes, you could see down into the tulips, or maybe you're really tall. But this is the walk-in closet for the spare bedroom, and then there is a mirror, but you'd have to be kind of just standing right up next to it to see, so I tried to make it low enough that you could see your whole self while standing there because it's crunched in. And then lastly, we have the master bedroom. I really liked this accent wall. I don't know how fast I walked towards it, but I think that looks pretty nice. I made a couple of accent walls in the hallway. I didn't want it to get too busy, but I thought, an accent wall for the master, make it stand out. Then they also, I'm big on accent walls. I'm sure you noticed by now. I think I even mentioned it before, but there's one here for their closet. There's another one here next to their bed. It's not on the other side. That's just a flat wall. Didn't want it to get too busy, like I said before. These light switches operate the overhead lights, so you can climb into bed and then tap the light switch that would be wired through your little nightstand. The nightstands can't go anywhere because these are wired in. But the light switches go to these overhead lights that you can turn them off from the convenience of your bed. And then just have some red accents here, and the bedspread has the same sort of pattern, but a different, or like a darker shade of that gray for the actual bedspread. And we just have the resting spots here. Little seats on either side by the windows. It's kind of a nice view. It's secluded with the, or private with the foliage from the trees. I imagine that being a little bit fuller than what you get in the game. I'm sure that's to keep it from crashing on everyone with like millions of leaves, but um, hopefully it would block out a little bit more of the view of the neighbors. But yeah, you get some privacy from the tree screen, and then you get to look out at nature. Kind of nice. This is where they would keep their own bed linens, towels for their bathroom, really anything that they wanted could go in here, but I imagine especially bed linens and things would be kept there. And then they also have this really nice big walk-in closet. So we've got washer dryer. They get a countertop for their washer dryer, so you can like take the stuff out, fold it, put it away. Or if you're needing to do some laundry treatment, if there's stains or whatever, you can let it set on the counter for a bit before putting it in. And there's the mirror on this side, and just his and hers. He doesn't have much. She has a little bit more, or maybe they just share. Maybe they're nice about sharing. Finally. But yeah, so we've got two sides, and then this big thing in the middle is a display for her wedding dress, because that has always been my dream. I've got this really fancy, beautiful wedding dress. Um, it's medieval themed because I'm a little bit crazy. Nerd. Again, I love it. It makes me so happy, and I really, 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 it's in a box on top of my closet shelf, and I want it on display. It's gorgeous. And so I have always wanted to build into my future home, someday when we build our home, a big display case for my wedding dress. So this is what this is for hers, for the mom. Her wedding dress would be on display here. It's got the background. I'll back up just a little bit so you can notice, but there's the normal accent walls have like gray as the back and then white as the design, and this one is reversed, so it's white as the back with gray as the design. So to kind of accent her dress a little bit, I think, and just keep it different from the walls more. There in the corners, these like four little triangles, top and bottom, are lights that shine on the dress. I will turn those on when I do the nighttime walkthrough, but the light switch for those is here, the silver one, and then the rose gold one goes to these lights up in the ceiling, and then I think that there's, yeah, same thing here. You can turn them off from over here. Because normally a lot, not everyone, but a lot of people are right-handed. So, and even if you're left-handed and you're coming in from the left side and reaching to the left, you've got an option on either way, right? So if you're left-handed and you're coming out, this would still be on your left. But if you're right-handed, you could use them going in, and same thing reverse here. When you're coming in, they'd be on your left, or if you're going out, they'd be on your right. So, but I really liked this. So it hides the switches for the closet when you're not using the closet, because you don't need to see those switches when you're not using it. And it opens up the switch that goes to these lights overhead. That one and the one in here. They're on the same switch. So I really liked that I could hide them behind the doors. I had to make that one a little further out because you see the door, would cover where I would normally put it like right inside the door. It's not going to work that way here. So I had to put it a little further out anyway, and this way it also then gets hidden by the door kind of nicely. I thought it was cute. So that's that. These light switches are for these. Well, the silver one goes to the bathroom. And then the rose gold is for, I should check these before I do my nighttime walkthrough. I'll fix that other one that's wrong, and then I'll check the rest of these, because I hope I didn't rewire anything weird when I was moving stuff around. We'll see. But these lights, so same thing. Silver would go outside in this case. It's always the odd one out is for the next room that you'd be going to, and then the rose gold belongs to the main room. And I have an extra rose gold one. Let me turn this on for a second. Actually, no, I lied. I'll show that off when we get to nighttime, but it has this really cool effect that I will explain in that one. There won't be as much talking in that one. It'll mostly be about lights. And I talked through a lot of them already. This is the, obviously just a little toilet area so that you can close off smells. You don't have to make it smelly when someone's in here relaxing with a bath. And then I've got a window here for some nice natural light from this side, and then towel rack and vanity with dual sinks. So yeah, that's that. I put in a lot of drains because I didn't want. The worst thing would be if this flooded like all the way out to these cabinets and just wrecked everything. So I put in plenty of drainage in this floor. Sorry about that. Put in plenty of drainage on the floor, but you can see here it's the two different heights again for the shower. So a shorter one for the mom because she's short, and a taller one for the dad because he's tall. And same thing with the hooks, a shorter one so that she can use it. Technically, the shorter one should have also been closer to the inside because shorter arms, but you know, whatever they make do. Maybe he's in here and hands her towel. So I will talk about this real quick. I really wanted an overhead shower, like a rain shower kind of thing that they do, where it's coming from down from the ceiling. Really, really, really wanted to install one of those. There is not anything in the game for that currently. Maybe it'll get added in the future. Currently, that does not exist as an option. It would go somewhere by these showers a little bit past the light. The light would probably move out if I got to install that. Um, but it's another dream of mine in a house that I get to build for myself would be to have, you know, a two-person shower with an overhead water that overlaps the two parts of the shower so that, you know, if it's in the master bathroom, maybe you're doing something fun in there. You don't want to get out of your water stream, you know, to like do fun things. So you would want like a third water stream coming down from up higher to kind of cover that area, that gap in between the two. Because normally, you know, you're showering, he's showering, whatever. Maybe you're just both getting ready for work at the same time, and it's just a thing. But you know, on the occasion that you want a little spice, that would be an option. So there should be a third shower head up in the ceiling up above these two, but it doesn't exist right now. So pretend that's there. Um, and then I've got, oh, I remember why the shorter one was inside, because on this one, I guess it would still be for the shower though. I was mirroring this one so that if you were in the bath together, again, you know, just relaxing or whatever, there's towels or towel options on either side. So um, the lady's towel is over here. That's the mom's towel, the pink one, and then the dad's is the gray one. So it's on the taller hook and hers is on the lower hook. And then I did put, in case there's like splashing or as you get out, you know, stuff that needs to drain, there are vents, not vents, drains in the floor here by the giant soaker bath as well, jacuzzi bath. But I'm going to hop in here for a sec. Look at how relaxing this would be to just sit in here and enjoy, especially if you get to tint this so that you don't have to worry about people seeing in. But even without the tint, if you know, had blinds that you could automatically pull up and down or whatever from the bath, you could open them back up once you're sitting down because no one's going to be able to see the bath from the ground. They can only see, like, I don't know, the tops of these showers. So you'd have to be walking over here and undressed in order for them to see anything, which would happen, which is why there needs to be some sort of tinting or some sort of, you know, automatic blinds or something. But there's nothing right now. Maybe someday. Um, let's see. I think that's it. I've walked you through everything for the daytime view. So I'm gonna stop here and we're gonna switch to the nighttime view now. Okay, so my game really does not like having this much light running at once, but we're gonna deal with it. It's gonna be flickery. I'm sorry. I'll start turning off lights as I finish walking around. But this is what it looks like lit up at night. I added some lights up on the upper story so that it's not so dark, and then some lights around the front, but I did not add any on the sides of the house. There are some on the back by the pool. But this is, oh, I forgot to show the mailbox before. I have a mailbox now. But this is what it looks like at night. Imagine the lights aren't flickering, but everything's all lit up inside. Now, if I can turn off these, actually, we'll go over this way for a second. This is what the front looks like, all lit up close at night. Kind of a nice view, right? And then, let me turn off some of these outside lights so that it gets a little bit less flickery. And then this is the garage all lit up at night. We've got all these lights to make it nice and bright in here so you can see what you're freaking doing at night. And then turn these lights off, and I think I can turn off these ones too. There we go. We're gonna leave, since I'm gonna be turning lights on and off, I'm gonna leave this precise placement display down in the bottom corner. I'm sorry. Better than nothing. Or not better than nothing. Better than some of the other things that would be there, but obviously not super ideal, but you'll deal with it. Actually, I want one more of these light switches on this side too, so give me just a moment. This one go here because it's outside. This one go inside. Change the colors really quickly. They should be reversed. Good. Alright, now we have those two light switches. So then these lights, again, flickery, I'm sorry. Once I turn all these off, it really did not like adding all of these on the same switch. You can see it's just making really weird graphical glitches. I can probably turn off some of these ones down this way now. I'll go do that real quick. So first, I'll leave myself in the dark here, because that's the worst. I can turn off overhead light there, and then these kitchen lights here. Is that this one? No, that's the hallway. I don't actually know what that just did. Which lights are these? Okay, over there. And then the kitchen. Okay. And I also don't need this one on. But I am going to go outside, out the back first, to show you what the back of the house looks like when the inside's all lit up. And then we'll start turning off more of the lights down here. Again, pretend the stairs are filled in. This is the back of the house with all those lights on. This would be a really high phone or energy bill if this was all lit up all the time like this. But yeah, so this is the pool at nighttime. Some lights, we'll see it from up above too. Those don't turn off. I don't have them on a switch or anything. And then these ones are all on a switch. So there's two here. This is inside and outside. And then outside at the bottom, inside at the top again. And then, I forgot to put the switches here too. Okay, one more moment while I fix something before I forget. This one goes here, and the outside lights. Okay. And this one. So then this, oops, this one will turn off those outside lights. And this one would turn off the hallway lights, but I won't go in there, so I don't turn them off just yet. Okay, and then let me turn off the lights in here. I think that these, oh yeah, those are hallway lights. What about this? Okay. I know that these are for the lights in here. And then there's more around the corner. There's this one. This one. And then this one. No, all the lights in here are off. And now we can turn off our hallway light. Oof. Run away, run away. And this light. Oh right, it's on the outside. Light. I did turn off the little heart it was making because of light bleed in here, which is part of the reason that this is so, like, my game hates having all these lights on, is because there's a lot of light bleed in the game. But because of that, the pink heart was making it so that, oh yeah, that's from the shoe part. Making it so that upstairs in that guest bedroom with the single bed, there was like pink glowing through the floor, and that was driving me crazy. So I turned off the little heart, but it would normally be on all the time. It's just on. So that one off. Then we'll turn off these accent, the outside lights, and then the overhead. This must be for the. Oh, I didn't have those on. Okay. So these are the accent lights I was talking about that match the ones in that bigger spare bedroom. And then I changed this so that this is now on its own switch, and I think that one would just always get left on. I did turn on the closet light for no real reason. Oh, but I don't think I ever showed that I moved that in there. This is now where the umbrella stand lives, in that closet. Why does it look like this light is on? I thought I just turned that off. Did I turn off a different light? I did, those were upstairs. What turns off that light? Is that part of... Yeah. Yep. Okay. Interesting. Alright, alright. I maybe should have done that differently. I'll maybe redo that. But as you go upstairs, so I'll leave this light on so that you can see, because these are the top upstairs lights that are controlled by that light switch. So there's the art, and then you come in here, and you can turn off those lights as you're like, oh, we're done downstairs for the evening. This is overlooking the pool at night with the lights off, because they'd probably normally be off. But then there's plenty of light up here to just kind of hang out and not have it be dark, because you know how I feel about the dark. That's that one, and then this is this little space lit up at night again. Nice and bright. The lights up here, not too bad. We've got that, and then go in here. Like I said, this light switch is for those, or sorry, this set of hallway lights, and then this one is for that set of lights right there. And then this is just for the bedroom lights in here, but this is what the bedroom looks like lit up at night. Not too overwhelmingly bright, but also not too dark, which is nice. Light bleed really throws off how light that looks when it's nighttime. I'm going to turn that off. We're done over there. So then we have bedrooms. All of the rooms have, I didn't show that before, but these switches go to the hallway lights. So if you're leaving in the middle of the night, or if you're heading to your bedroom at night and you're the last person, you're going to turn off these lights or turn them on to go to the restroom. Although I guess it would really only be to turn them off, because they have their Jack and Jill bathrooms, so they're not going to come out and use this one. Unless it's in use, I guess, and it's an emergency, but just wait. But yeah, so if you're the last one into your bedroom, you can turn off the hallway lights from right next to the door. And then this is her bedroom all lit up. These lamps next to her bed are single, like turn on, you turn them on from the bed. So with all the lights off except for the little nightlight-ish stuff, the table stand lights and the twinkle lights, this is what it looks like. And then if you turn twinkle lights off and only have the nightstand, it doesn't change that much. They're not showed off there. And actually, I think I have to turn off these lights. They're going to help with that. There's still going to be some light bleed from the bathroom because the bathroom lights are on. But here, 1 second. Sorry, I'm very indecisive. This is what this room looks like at night with lights on. I did fix, before I did the nighttime video, I fixed the little patches where there wasn't the little baseboard molding. So it's done now. But at nighttime it's all lit up like this. So yeah, and then plenty of light to see when you're doing laundry or whatever. So the twinkle lights, let's see here. They add some light to the top of the room, but it doesn't really carry down to the bottom, so it's probably okay-ish for sleeping. But in real life, maybe they'd be too bright. Who knows? I put light switches just in case. Then the light switch here, like I said, goes to the bedroom. This one goes, it actually wasn't. So remember how the one on the other side, I was like, oh, that's mapped to the wrong thing. Both of these were mapped to the wrong thing. They were both of these switches were to the bathroom for no reason. So I must have just copied one and then didn't change the wiring that it was set to. So this one now goes to the bathroom. There aren't light switches. I didn't point that out before, but there are not light switches in the bathroom itself. There doesn't need to be since it's only a Jack and Jill. If you can control it from the bedroom, then there's not really a need for a light switch to be in here unless someone's being a real twerp. But I mean, hopefully not. Anyway, so like if you were in here and they turned it off on you, that would be kind of not great, and a light switch would be nice, but you can also just open your door and turn it back on. So yeah, whatever. But this is what the bathroom looks like lit up at night. It's just the two lights, but sorry, three. There's two in the ceiling and then one above the mirror. They're bright enough. Nice overhead lighting and whatever. That turns off those lights. This now properly turns on and off the closet. And then this one no longer turns off the closet. It turns off the hallway and bedroom light. There. So this is what the closet looks like, all lit up at night. Cherry tree still looks nice, but it doesn't have the same effect as when it's, really nice and bright out. So then we'll turn off our closet lights here and walk into the rest of the bedroom. So this is nice and bright. Same thing here. It's got these table lights that you can individually turn on and off, depending on if you're using it. And then there's the overhead light switch next to the bed, so that you can turn that on and off from bed. That one goes to the closet. And then this is the overhead again, so we'll leave them. I'm not trapped in darkness. Oh, are these still on? Yeah, they are. What? Okay, now those are off. So, again, light bleed and whatnot, but there's some light that pretends like it's from there. This is the bathroom. It should probably mostly just have the lights on when it's being used, even during the day, because it's not going to be that bright in there without it. There's no windows. And then we're going to go around over here. This one, again, hallway light. And then this controls the overhead light. This is what it looks like when just the side lamp's on. Those are the same as the other ones where they are manually controlled from the bed. I did not put a light switch by the bed. I meant to, though, so I'm going to do that real quick. Right here. And here. Okay, so now they have light switches next to the bed for the overhead lights, so they can turn them on and off. I had turned on these candles just so you could see the effect. I'll turn them back off. I really appreciate how the fire shows up on the candles. Like that's pretty impressive. I'm sure that you can actually, yeah, even light these ones too. And they have like this little smoke plume, and you can see here, like it gets all wavy and distorted from the heat from the light. I think that that's really, really cool that they actually took the time to put all of that in the game. Because a lot of games just, they don't. So, pretty impressive to me. Then there's the closet light switch there. That was the closet all lit up. And we're gonna turn off the lights and leave this room. It's still so bright because of this hallway. Actually, with the hallway light off, this is a little bit more representative of what these rooms would look like actually at night. It's just dark like that. Some natural light coming in through the window. Then in here we have the master bedroom. Like I said, these are the same as the other ones. They're click on and off by themselves. But, oops, I can't click through them to that light switch. Let me jump on the bed. So that's the overhead light switch next to the bed, so you can kill the lights while still having your nightstand light on if you want, or you can not have that on. Yeah, this is what the bedroom looks like at night with overhead lighting. And then here is the closet. So this one's for that display. That's what it looks like lit up. And then I'll step into the closet for a sec. So this is with the overhead lighting on. This is kind of what you get from the closet. And then if I turn that overhead lighting off and just leave on the display, then it, you know, is extra nice looking. So that'd probably be on a lot, but maybe not. I don't know. I didn't because I don't have one yet. I never researched how much like light bulb light would impact a wedding dress, so you have to be kind of careful about stuff like that with yellowing. So I was careful not to put like a window in that part of the wall. I thought about it because I was like, I'd really like a window, but I just went with the overhead ones so that there was some light, but not too much light, and then tried to kind of block it in so that there wouldn't be a ton of yellowing from, oops, sorry. Gotta go on this side to get in there. This is the bathroom with the light on. And then this switch is actually not for the bathroom. It's for in here that you can turn these lights off. Like if you're waking up in the middle of the night, go to the bathroom, you don't maybe want to leave the lights on while you're in here so that you're not disturbing sleep as much. So you can turn them on or off. So maybe you're in the bathroom already and when you're done, you're like, oh, it got dark. You can turn them on and off from inside, but you can tell how paranoid I am of the dark because I just have light switches everywhere so that I can avoid it. Oh, it's too funny. Yeah, anyway, that's what it's like with the lights off. And then this is the bathroom itself with the lights all on. So here was my special light switch situation. So this is what I did for the lighting. So you can just turn off these four overhead lights and leave the two on that are above the bath and the shower. Our house right now, my husband and I, our house has this setup where above the bath, the soaker tub, and the shower, each of them has like an overhead light, and those are controlled by a single switch. And then the lights that are over the vanity and the rest of the bathroom, those lights are on another switch. And at first I was like, that's a little weird. And then I realized how cozy it is at nighttime to either a shower or a bath, but especially in the soaker tub to just like have a nice chill soak with low level of lighting, not just super bright bathroom lighting. Kind of listen to music and veg out in the tub. And especially since this has a nice view, I really wanted to replicate that here. So there's a separate light switch to control the lights over the tub and in the shower, just to give you that sort of intimate, personal feel and relaxation lighting and whatnot. And also then you get the option to not have those on, and you could just have these on if you don't really need that part of the bathroom and you're like, I'm just going to the sink and back, and you can turn on those lights and not the rest. Yeah, so I think that's everything. We now don't have all the flickering, don't have all the light bleed. None of my graphics are freaking out anymore because there's not 5 million lights on that it needs to try and handle. This is so weird. I keep getting this glitch. There's several that you'll have noticed. This one too. The door handles are stuck facing down on some doors, but not other doors. Like this one's fine. That one's fine. That one's fine. But I think one of the ones over here was tilted, or maybe it was downstairs. But yeah, it just keeps randomly different ones, and I'll go and fix it. You have to like press on it a whole bunch, and eventually it's like, okay, I know what I'm supposed to do, and it'll go back to being straight to the side, and then it'll just randomly glitch out again. I'm not sure what's causing that. Too many assets, probably. I made the house too big, and there's just going to be more when I make the downstairs, the basement level, but yeah, so that was everything that I have for now. It's so dark without any of the lights on, holy cow. I'm glad this one light down below me is on. It's a little bit less creepy. Yeah, so that's the house at night. Hope you like it. I will see you again in the next one. That one will be the basement video, and I'll show off the fact that I will have at that point finished that corner stair. And I think there was something else I was gonna add some more lighting because the game needs more lights to handle. Some more lighting out the backside around the pool. Not in the pool, but just around so that you can use the pool or the trampoline or whatever when it gets dark. So I'm gonna put some standing or some sort of lighting out there to kind of brighten up the space. But yeah, next video will be that, and then the basement as well. And then all I'll have left is that side yard that I need to do and all the decorating, because you can see there's like nothing on the walls up here. I decorated the crap out of the kids' rooms and didn't do much with the master bedroom. I didn't do much with, well, I guess I did some with the one guest bedroom, but the other guest bedrooms. Well, no, I guess, I'm sorry. I'm done with all the guest bedrooms and the kids' bedrooms. I just need to put some decorations in the master bedroom and then down, like throughout the hallway here and downstairs, hallway and all the areas there. And yeah, but so I'll do. That'll probably be the last thing I do because it's like nitpicky work. I'll probably do the basement next and the lights outside, and then yeah. Sorry, this was a long video, but I hope you liked it. Enjoy!